ॐ गणानां त्वा गणपतिगुं हवामहे कविं कवीनामुपमश्रवस्तमं ज्येष्ठराजं ब्रह्मणां ब्रह्मणस्पदानश्चन्वन्नोदिभिस्सीदसादनम् ॐ श्रीमहागणपतये नमः। श्रुतिस्मृतिपुराणानामालयं करुणालयं नमामि भगवत्पादशङ्करं लोकशङ्करं सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्ता वन्दे श्रीगुरुपरम्पराम्। ॐ श्रीशङ्कराचार्य स्वामिने नमः। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ॐ।
नमस्ते महोदय। साई लक्ष्मी भगिनी।
रुद्राणां शङ्करश्चास्मि वित्तेशो यक्षरक्षसां वसूनां पावकश्चास्मि मेरुशिखरिणामहम्।
गुड।
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी।
पुरोदसाञ्च मुख्यं मां विद्धि पार्थ बृहस्पतिं सेनानीनामहं स्कन्दः सरसामस्मि सागरः।
गुड।
शारदा राजन भगिनी।
महर्षीणां भृगुग्रहं गिरामस्म्येकमक्षरं यज्ञानां जपयज्ञोऽस्मि स्थावराणां हिमालयः।
गुड।
वीणा फानिश्री भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
अस्वत्थः सर्ववृक्षाणां देवर्षीणां च नारदः गन्धर्वाणां चित्ररथः सिद्धानां कपिलो मुनिः।
गुड।
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी।
नमस्ते महोदय।
नमस्ते।
उच्चैश्रवसमश्वानां विद्धि माम् अमृतोद्भवम् उच्चैश्रवसमश्वानां विद्धि माम् अमृतोद्भवम् ऐरावतं गजेन्द्राणां नराणां च नराधिपम्।
लक्ष्मी बीवी भगिनी।
आयुधानामहौ वज्रं धेनूनामस्मि कामधुक् प्रजनश्चास्मि कन्दर्पः सर्पाणामस्मि वासुकिः।
गुड।
शरद चवन महोदय।
अनन्तराश्चास्मि नाशानां वरुणो यादसामहं पितॄणां मर्यामा चास्मि मम संयमतामहम्।
Okay, there are some mistakes in this. Anyhow, we'll correct it on the way. One more person, the same shloka, please.
कृष्ण पावनी भगिनी।
महोदय।
नमस्ते।
दश्चास्मि नागानां वरुणो यादसामहं पितॄणामर्यमा चास्मि यमः संयमतामहम्।
Good. अनन्तश्चास्मि नागानां वरुणो यादसामहं पितॄणामर्यमा चास्मि यमः संयमतामहं. So that is it is. Okay, it is Ananta is that Ananta Shayanam, that big serpent. So that I think has to be properly looked in. Asmi comes Anantaha Asmi Naganam Varunaha Yadasam Pitrunam Aryama Cha Asmi Yamaha Samyatamaham. Samyamatamaham. So you have to just slowly, you have to just chant it slowly, and it's all because we have done the meaning, you'll be able to understand the aksharams properly also. Okay. Next.
Mrinalini Gopalan Bagini. Mrinalini Gopalan Bagini. Okay, Vijayalakshmi Bagini. Vijayalakshmi Bagini. Okay.
Yes, Namaste Mahodaya.
Namaste.
Prahladachasmi daityanam kalakalayadamaham mruhanancha mrugendroham vainadeshacha pakshinam
Vainateyascha pakshinam.
vainadeyacha pakshinam.
That is the Garuda is supposed to be the child of Vinata. Vinataya putraha Vainateya. Okay. Drupata putraha Draupadi. Drona putraha Dronya. Droni. So it is all like that in Sanskritam. The Kunti putraha Kuntya. So you'll find those kinds of things also coming in this thing. So this is Vinata son Vainateya. Garuda's name is Vinata. Okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Yeah. So I think we are done up to this yesterday. We'll continue with our new shlokas for today.
Sri Lakshmi Bagini.
Pavanah pavatamasmi.
Pavanah pavatamasmi. Pavanah pavatamasmi.
Ramashastra-bhruthamaham.
Ramashastra-bhruthamaham. Ramashastra-bhruthamaham.
Pavanah pavatamasmi. Ramashastra-bhruthamaham.
Pavanah pavatamasmi. Ramashastra-bhruthamaham. Pavanah pavatamasmi. Ramashastra-bhruthamaham.
Next.
Shanti Badri Bagini.
Jashanamakarashchasmi.
Jashanamakarashchasmi. Jashanamakarashchasmi.
Shrotasamasmi Janavi.
Shrotasamasmi Janhavi. Shrotasamasmi Janhavi.
Jashanamakarashchasmi. Shrotasamasmi Janavi.
Jashanamakarashchasmi. Shrotasamasmi Janhavi. Jashanamakarashchasmi. Shrotasamasmi Janhavi.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bagini.
Namaste, Mahodaya.
Pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bhruthamaham.
Pavanah pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bridhamaham. Pavanah pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bridhamaham.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bagini.
Jashanamakarashchasmi. Shrotasamasmi Janhavi.
Jashanamakarashchasmi. Shrotasamasmi Janhavi. Jashanamakarashchasmi. Shrotasamasmi Janhavi.
Good.
Bhanureka Bagini.
First line 2 times.
Yes. Pavanah pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bhritamaham. Pavanah pavatamasmi Ramashastra-bhritamaham.
Good. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bagini.
Second line 2 times.
झषणामकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी झषाणामकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी.
Good. Next.
K. Lalita Bhagini.
Full sloka once.
पवनः पवतामस्मि रामशस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणामकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी.
Good. Next.
Sheela Shinde Bhagini.
पवनः पवतामस्मि रामशस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि श्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी.
Good. Next.
Sai Lakshmi Bhagini.
पवनः पवतामस्मि रामशस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि श्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी.
Good. Next.
Sharada Rajan Bhagini.
पवनः पवतामस्मि रामशस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी.
Good. Next.
Usha Srinivasan Bhagini.
पवतामस्मि रामशस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि स्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी.
Good. One more person.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
पवनः पवतामस्मि रामशस्त्रभृतामहं झषाणां मकरश्चास्मि श्रोतसामस्मि जाह्नवी.
Good. So, go to the meaning of this. So far, from the 28th shloka or something onwards, Bhagavan has been telling us to what are all his glories, what are all his powers. If you look at the page, start off telling that I am the Brahman, I am the person through whom the entire creation has taken place. I am the creator, sustainer, and the dissolution. Dissolution is also done only by me. Then he says, all the Maharishis, Sapta Purve, all the Sapta Maharishis were all from him. Then he was talking about the creation. Anything that you see as magnificence, it is all him. Like sun is magnificent, he says it is me. Then he was talking about the night. When you look at night sky, among the stars, the one that shines brightly, what we can see is only moon. He says, I am moon. Then among the huge hills, he says, I am the snow-clad mountain, Himalayas. So he was talking. Then if you look at all the, water bodies, among all the water bodies, I am the ocean. He said about that. Then he was talking about the animals, Airavatam, Gajendrana, Airavatam. The best of elephants used by Indra is Gajendra, that is Airavata. Airavata is myself. Uchchaishravas is myself. Vainat, so he talked about the land animals. Then the king of the forest, lion, is me. Then he talked about the king of the skies, flying things. He said, Vainateyascha. He said, I am the Garuda. So if you look at everything, that is all having glories, that's all having magnificence. You look at a Garuda, you look at a lion, or you look at an elephant, or look at Himalayas, or anything that is magnificence. Bhagavan says it's me. Even in trees, he says, I am Ashwatthana, Rukshanam, Ashwattha, Ahamasmi. So he said that everything is me, and he is continuing. Vasunam Pavakaschasmi. Among the Atta Vasus, I am the Pavaka, I am the fire, the brilliant fire. In the same thing, he is now continuing. Pavanaha Pavatam Asmi. Pavatam means among all the purifiers, things that can purify, he says Pavanaha Aham. Pavanaha means air or the wind. He says wind is a great purifier. So I think when we talked about Pavakaschasmi also, I told that fire is a great purifier. Anything that you put into the fire, that gets purified. He said that even the decaying flesh also gets purified. Anything that is dirty gets purified. Even the water that we want to drink, or even the cooking itself is a purification act. Cooking means we heat the things. So you use fire. So it is a purification thing. Water, when you boil, you are able to purify the water. So we said fire and heat is a purifier. But Bhagavan now says, Pavanaha, Avatam Asmi. Among the purifiers, I am the wind. Pavana. Pavanaha means I am the wind. So that here what he says is that wind is also another great purifier. How do you consider now? Earlier we talked about fire, now we is talking about wind. If you look at a fire, there was a big fire which has cleaned up a lot of things, which has destroyed a lot of things. Okay. Then there's a lot of smoke coming out of it. How does the smoke get cleaned? The smoke can get cleaned only by the flow of wind. Or you have a homa done in your house, lot of smoke. How do you ensure that the smoke is all cleared in the house? You have to have the wind, or you put on the exhaust fan, you put on this fan, and everything is cleared. Then in the entire environment, now people are telling, let us not go for gasoline vehicles, we'll go only electric vehicles. Let us reduce the pollution. Because we find that we are polluting the atmosphere. Atmosphere cleans it up itself. Bhagavan has created trees for that. Bhagavan has created vegetation for that, because vegetations are able to take in carbon dioxide, and then the photosynthesis process of making chlorophyll, they generate oxygen. So they take carbon dioxide and then use oxygen, which is going to be the prana for us. So if you look at that way, the continuous cleaning is happening in the atmosphere. Vayu is continuously cleaning, and we are able to breathe. We are able to have a fresh air. Though we go into the city of Bombay, travel from Marine Lines to Vashi on a car, and then you get so much of smoke, then you are able to, the night, in the early morning you go, there's a fantastic breeze coming out. You are able to find everything is cleaned up. The morning breeze is beautiful, full of oxygen. So the Pavanaha, Pavatam Asmi is a great purifier. So that's what they say, no? Namo, Vayu is also taken as one of the god. Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayu Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami. So we take Vayu as one of the biggest Pratyaksha Bhagavan. In our meditation classes we said, no? The infinite is Vayu, finite is body. So when you breathe in, the Vayu comes in and uses the prana. Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi. So in that context, he says, Pavanaha Pavatam Asmi. Bhagavan says, I am the wind. The wind is a great purifier. If you look at that way, all of them are great purifiers. Water is a purifier, wind is a purifier, fire is a purifier, and even earth is a purifier. If you put a lot of things into the earth decays, the decays take place, and then they become a kind of manure also. But then if you look at a fire, fire produces ash. Ash is again a kind of a manure. You may have a kind of a carcass lying on the road of some dead animal. It is burnt and then it becomes a fire. The ashes become again a kind of manure which goes into the earth for nutrition purposes. It's a kind of cycle that it takes place. Water is a great purifier. If you look at that way, if you just, not only a purifier, it's also a great energy also. If you look at it in the morning when you get up, you are totally drowsy. You just go and then have a face wash, the body gets energized. No, so that is the energy that is transmitted from the water into the body. You have a bath, again the body gets energized. So the water is a great energizer and as well as a purifier. So if you want to purify the body, you cannot say I'm going to use air for purifying. You have to have only bath. So there are certain things that can be purified. If you want to have a dead animal or something to be removed, best way will be, instead of burying it, it's burning it is better way. Then the smoke can be purified by the air. So if you look at that way, you need to balance it out. If you look at the nature, it can be air, it can be water, it can be fire, or it can be earth. All of them in tandem will be able to support one another in terms of purifying the entire thing. Despite the way we are, creating havoc in the entire earth, earth is continuously working on purifying itself. Okay, so Pavanaha is air is one of the greatest purifiers. He says, I am that Pavanaha. Then Ramaha Shastrabhutam Aham. Shastrabhutam, the one who is wielding weapon, he is having Kodanda Pani. So the Ramaha is me. The Rama holding the Kodanda Pani is me. So when you look at our deities, most of the deities have got most of them have got some ayudam. Like if you look at Skanda, he's got a veil. If you look at Isha, Parameshwara, he's got a Trishul. If you look at Vishnu, he's got Chanka Chakra Gadapani. If you look at Anjaneya Swami, he has got a gada. If you look at, if you look at every one of our deities, they have weapon. So some people also make a ridicule. Why are your gods always having weapons? Or do they want to always go and hit somebody? But the answer is no. They are all, as we saw yesterday, he said, Narana Naradipam. The Bhagavan said that I am the king of people. So to protect people, they need to demonstrate that they got a weapon. If you look at that way, weapons are used only for protecting people and not for destroying somebody. That is not the intention. Even when you look at Ramayana, when the last day of fight, when Ravana was to be killed, Rama did not kill him. He could have killed him the previous day itself. I think some of you who are from Tamil Nadu, in Ramayana, he says, Intrupoi Nalaiva. Bhagavan says, no, you please go today and think over and then see whether it is possible for you to release my wife. And if everything we can have a pacification and we are able to pacify in terms of the understanding, I'll go away, I'll not harm you. So he says, Intrupoi Nalaiva, go today and come tomorrow. Even in the case of Mahabharata, before the war, Lord Krishna, he decided that he has to go and have a discussion as a messenger from Pandava's side in terms of talking to them about avoiding the war. He was discussing, well, at least give 5 villages or 5 small houses. So they don't want, our entire Sanatana Dharma is never to harm anybody. But when it comes to the question of Dharma being compromised, then Bhagavan says, Paritranaya sadhuna vinashasustram dharma samtana sambhavi. Then yada yada dharmasya jnani rivapati bharata abhyuthana madharmasya kadatpanam sujamyaham. So when things go out of control, Bhagavan says, if dharma has to be established, you have to demonstrate and take your weapons. Weapons are powerful. Everybody was given a weapon. Be it Karna had his own weapon, Arjuna had his own weapon. You have to take a weapon. And now, even the discussion of 10 chapters of Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavan is telling Arjuna that he has to understand all these principles and philosophy of life, but he has told him, Uttishta Parantapa, Yuddhaya Krita Nichaya, you have to fight. Okay, so it is not necessary that just because somebody is wielding weapon, he is always a destructive person, but weapons are required in terms of protecting Dharma. That is what Bhagavan says. So from that particular perspective, Shastrabridham Ramaha Aham. That Rama, who has been very glorified and gloriously known by everybody across the country, right from Treta Yuga, he is the person, he says, that is also me. Rama, Shastrabridham Aham. Then Jashana Makaraschasmi. Jashana means among the water aquatic animals, I am Makaraha. Makaraha, in the contemporary context, we take Makaram as a crocodile, but some of the literature says that it can be taken as whale or shark, because biggest of the aquatic animals is a whale, majestic whale. So he says, Jashanam, among the aquatic things, I am the whale, which means that a whale is capable of even eating away everything in the marine life. It is capable of eating all the animals in marine life. Like the way a lion can eat all the animals, most of the animals, not all the animals. A whale is capable of eating everything. So another huge, gigantic and majestic animal living in the waters, in aquatic system. So he said, Jashana, among the aquatic animals, Makaraha Asmi, I am the crocodile or I am the whale. Primarily you can say it's a whale or shark. And then Strotasam Asmi Janavi. Strotasam means, earlier we saw about, what is that? I just forgot that. 1 second. Sarasam. Sarasam means water body. Okay. Now we say Strotasam. Strotasam means the one that flows, the flowing rivers. If you look at the flowing rivers, he says, I am Janavi. Janavi is the name of river Ganga. So he says that I am the river Ganga. And Ganga holds a very, very important position in our Hindu mythology as well as Hindu beliefs. And Ganga is supposed to be one of the purest forms of rivers. Ganga is worshipped as a goddess. And when a dip is taken in the Ganga itself, we are told that all our sins will be all removed. So it is such a very, very powerful and very divine river that we have. Jahnavi means the river that came out of the ear of one rishi by name Janu. I am sure that most of you will know the story of the Ganga. Ganga was not a part of the not a part of the earthly rivers. Ganga was primarily in a small kamandalam in the celestial world. And what happened was that uh, once the Sagara Raja's 60,000 sons, they wanted to do Ashwamedha Yaga. When they want to do the Ashwamedha Yaga, that Ashwa was the sacrificial Ashwa, the sacrificial horse, gone missing. Somebody had taken that horse. So the 60,000 sons of them, Sagar Raja, they went on finding out where the horse is gone because they have to do Ashwamedha Yaga. Finally, the person who has taken that, I don't remember the name of the person, he had tied it up in the cave of Kapila Muni, who was meditating, and he had gone. So when these children, they came in search of that, they found Kapila Muni sitting there and meditating, and the horse was tied next to him. So they started burning the entire hermitage. When the entire hermitage was getting burnt, and heat was coming out to him, Kapila Muni opened his eyes, and then he saw all these 60,000 children. And by his tapas, all of them got burnt immediately. Then when the message went to them, then other son who was surviving as Amshuman, then Amshuman was asked to go and check up what happened to them. And then he came searching for them and came to know that these people are perished in the hermitage of Kapila Muni. When that has happened, then they asked, he himself, Amshuman asked Kapila Muni, what do I do? Kapila Muni told that only way you can do is that you have to get the Ganga water and then you have to sprinkle it or the Ganga water to flow on them, then they'll be able to get their lives. Where do I get Ganga water? They say it is there in the Devaloka. It is there in the small Kamandalam. Then he checked up with Bhagavan as to how do I get this thing. He said, I think he asked Indra or somebody. They said, no, it is not possible now. There's going to be one Vaman Avatara when Bhagavan is going to be, showing his Rupa in the three worlds. At that time, at the bottom of his toe, he'll have this Kamandalam. It will tip out of his leg, then the water will start flowing, and that water will flow down, and that water you try to divert it into your place. And the water will primarily go to Patala Loga or not to Bhuloga. So then you go and find out how to manage this. So this fellow was waiting for the Vamana Avatara to take place, because that is the Avatara when the water will be tipped out of the Kamandala. And finally, he goes away, and then his son Bhagirath was born, and Bhagirath had the responsibility of restoring these people. Then he went and he came to know that the water will not come to earth. So he went and prayed to Lord Shiva. Then Lord Shiva said, okay, I'll try to hold the water in my head. So Shiva, what he did was he got all the water and then he was holding it onto his head. And then the water, everything in Patal Loka was in Shiva's head. From Shiva's head, the water started flowing. When the water was flowing, the water went in such a big deluge that it started washing away the hermitage of one Janu Muni. So Rishi was there. When Janu Muni's ashram was getting washed away with Ganga, he drank the entire Ganga and made it dry. Then again, this person did not have water to take care of his 60,000 people, ancestors to be revived. Again, he starts praying, and then he prayed to Shiva and prayed to Janu Muni. And finally, Janu Muni accepts and then makes the river come out of him and it flows out through his ears. And that's what is Ganga. So the kind of difficulty this Bhagiratha had in terms of getting the river Ganga to flow was so difficult. It was such a difficult thing for him. That's the reason we say that it's called Bhagiratha Prayatna. When somebody has to put lot of effort, we say Bhagiratha Prayatna has to be made. Lot of effort. Then that is the way the Ganga is. So we have to understand that Ganga flows out from the head of Shiva. So Ganga is also equal to the flow of knowledge. When we say Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam, the entire knowledge or wisdom flows from Sadashiva Samarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadadara Paryanta. It flows from Lord Shiva as Dakshinamurti. It flows. Similarly, Ganga is also supposed to be the one that is a river of knowledge and river of is a Punya river. And anybody who is able to have any kind of bath or even sip Ganga Jalalava Kadita Pita, Bhagavad Gita Kinchita Dita, Ganga Jalalava Kadita Pita, Sakruta Binobi Murari Samartha Kriyate Tasya Yamenana Charcha. If they are able to do these things, even have a small sip of Ganga, they will not even do any kind of arguments with Yaman, Yamenana Charcha. So they'll have that level of wisdom. So having Ganga water, most of the Hindu families, they have a small bottle of Ganga Jalam because it is supposed to be a very purifying thing for the house. It doesn't get decayed. So he says that Srotasam Aspi Janavi. If you look at that way, among all the rivers, I am the holy river. Ganga. Okay. Pavanah Pavatam Ramashakta Vrudavaham Jashanam Makaraschasmi Stochasam Asmi Janavi. Next.
Anupama Bhatt Bhagini.
Sarganamadirantashcha
सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च
Madhyanchaivahamarjuna
मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन
Sarganamadirantashcha Madhyanchaivahamarjuna
सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन.
Good. Next.
Veena Fanishri Bhagini.
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam
Vadah Pravatatamaham
Vadah Pravadatamaham Vadah Pravadatamaham
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vadah Pravatatamaham
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam
Adhyatma Vidya
Vadah
is a very we have seen this word many times. Adhyatma Vidya is what? The Vidya of our own self. Adhyatmam. We have the 8th chapter started like that, no? Kim tat kim adhyatmam kim karma. We said, you remember that. So kim adhyatmam. This is adhyatmam. Adhyatma Vidyam Vidyanam.
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam
Correct.
Vadah Pravadatamaham
Correct. Once again.
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vadah Pravadatamaham.
Good. Next.
Lakshmi Bibi Bhagini.
Sarganamadirantashcha Madhyanchaivahamarjuna
सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन.
Good. Next.
Sri Lakshmi Bhagini.
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vadah Pravatatamaham
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatamaham Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatamaham.
Good. Next.
Vijaya Lakshmi Bhagini.
First line 2 times.
Yes, ma'am. Sarganamadirantaccha Madhyam Chaivahamarjuna Sarganamadirantaccha Madhyam Chaivahamarjuna.
Good. Next.
Sharat Chavan Mahodaya.
Second line 2 times.
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatmaham Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatmaham.
Adhyatma just hold on. Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatmaham.
No, Vada Pravadatamaham
Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vada Pravadatamaham. वादप्रवदतामहम्.
Good. Next.
Rajeshwari Shivashankar Bhagini.
Second line 2 times.
Adhyatma vidyanam vada pravadatamaham. Adhyatma vidyanam vada pravadatamaham.
Good. Next.
Veena Fani Shri Bhagini.
Full shloka.
Okay. Sharada Rajan Bhagini.
सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मद्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादप्रवदतामहम्.
Good. Next.
Srimati Bhagini.
सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मद्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादः प्रवदतात्महम्. प्रवदतामहम्.
Yeah. Next.
Sheela Shinde Bhagini.
सर्गाणाम् आदिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादप्रवदतामहम्.
Good. Next.
Krishna Pavani Bhagini.
सर्गाणामादिरन्तश्च मध्यं चैवाहमर्जुन अध्यात्मविद्या विद्यानां वादप्रवदतामहम्.
Good. Next.
Kashmira Bhagini.
Yes. Both the lines, sir?
Yeah, both the lines. Yeah.
Yes. Sarganamadirantashcha madhyam chaivahamarjuna adhyatma vidya vidyanam vadah pravadatamaham.
Good. So now, if you look at that way, we had shloka number 20, I think, where it was told that Ahamatma Gudakesha Sarvabhuta Shayastitah Ahamadischa Madhyancha Bhutanamantamevacha. He said that in that Aham Atma Gudakesha Sarvabhuta Shayastitah. I am the Atma which is residing in all the living beings. Ahamadischa Madhyancha Bhutanamantamevacha. So he said, I am the Adi for the Bhutas. Bhuta means all the creation. I am Madhyam. I am the Adi means I am the creator. I am the Madhyam, the sustainer. Ahamadishcha Madhyam. Bhutana Mantam. I am also the end for everybody. It is almost same kind of shloka here. Sarganam. Sarganam means among all the creations. Adihi Antaha Madhyam. Chaiva Madhyam Chayeva Aham Arjuna. Cha Eva Aham Arjuna. Chaiva Aham Arjuna. So he is again telling the same thing, whatever he has told in the shloka number 20, is Sargana, Madi, Anta, Madhyam, I am Arjuna. So I am everything. And then Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. Among the knowledge, he says that I am the knowledge of the self. I am the only thing that needs to be known. I am the highest knowledge. That's what we studied in the chapter 9. Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya. Why it was called Raja Vidya? Because the highest of king of knowledge is knowing yourself. And it's called Raja Guhya, highest secret, because we are not able to easily get that. So that is why it was called a Raja Vidya, Raja Guhya. So Adhyatma Vidya is the knowledge, best knowledge among all knowledge. You may be a physicist, you may be a scientist, you may be a computer engineer, but those knowledges have got limitations in terms of everything. It will take you to some place. But Adhyatma Vidya knowledge is the one that is going to ensure that you are going to get liberated from the life cycle of birth and death. So Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam. Among Vidyas, Vidyanam, Adhyatma Vidya Aham. He says, I am the Adhyatma Vidya. Then Vadaha Pravadatamaham. Vadaha means argument. We say there is a lot of Vada. There are three types of arguments. One is called Jalpa. The other one is called Vitanda, and third one is called Vada. So there are three different types. Jalpa means you talk only what is your point of view. I only talk my point of view. I will not accept your point of view. You will not accept my point of view. It is something like what we have the TV debate every day. Three people will be talking one side. These three will talk on the other side. They both will not agree. This fellow will only talk his viewpoint. The other fellow will talk his viewpoint. Both of them are fixed on their viewpoints and they don't come to a convergence at all. Both say that whatever their viewpoint is only correct. That is called Jalpa. Vitanda means whatever you say, I'll oppose. I don't like so so person. Whatever he says, I'll oppose. Vitanda Bada. Okay, he says, no, today we have to go to Bombay. He says, no, I'll not come to Bombay. We have to go to Gujarat. So whatever you say, it's not oppose. You say Congress fellows are very good. He said, no, they are very bad. No, BJP Modi should not have gone to Russia. No, he should have gone to Russia. Whatever you say, he will oppose. That is called Vitanda Bada. Okay. So if you look at the agenda of these two people, the first person is what is a fanatic. He is only opinionated about his own self. Okay, what I say, my only viewpoint means I'm a fanatic. There are a lot of fanatic religions also. They say only my religion is correct, other religions are incorrect. It's called fanaticism. Jalpa means he's a fanatic. The second fellow who is Vidandavada is egoistic. He says only whatever you say, I am going to oppose that. No, he is very egoistic. I am always superior than you, egoistic. Whereas Vadaha is the person who is willing to have a discussion and he is willing to put forward his thought process and he wants to also put all his doubts and thought process, have a kind of discussion continuously and then try to have a focus only in terms of understanding the truth. So both of them are having a discussion and arguments also only for the purpose of knowing the truth. They only try to understand and come to a conclusion of what is the truth of any discussion. So that is called Vadaha. So Bhagavan says that truth, whatever is being discussed, I am the truth. That kind of discussion when it takes place, Pravadatham, in those kinds of discussions, I am the truth. Okay, there's one truth in everything. He says, I am the truth. So I am not those kind of Vitandavada or I am not going to be that Jalpavada. I am a Vadaha, which is always discussing about the truth and there's a respectful, positive, meaningful discussion taking place about truth. That is what I am. So he takes about. So if you look at that way, he's trying to cover everything. He's covering that kind of discussion is a divine discussion. Though I am a part of the divine discussion. Okay. Sargaram Adiram Tascha Madhyanchaiva Marjuna Adhyatma Vidya Vidyana Vada Pravadatabaham. Next.
Bhanureka Bhagini.
Aksharanamakarosmi.
Aksharanamakarosmi. Aksharanamakarosmi.
Dvandvasamasika cha.
Dvandvasamasika cha. Dvandvasamasika cha.
Aksharanamakarosmi. Dvandvasamasika cha.
Aksharanamakarosmi. Dvandvasamasika cha. Aksharanamakarosmi. Dvandvasamasika cha.
Next.
K. Lalita Bhagini.
Ahamevakshayah kalah.
अहमेवाक्षयः कालः अहमेवाक्षयः कालः
Datahau vishvato mukah.
धाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः धाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः
Ahamevakshayah kalah. Datahau vishvato mukah.
अहमेवाक्षयः कालः धाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः अहमेवाक्षयः कालः धाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः.
Good. Next.
Shanti Badri Bhagini.
Aksharanamakarosmi. Dvandvasamasika cha.
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च
Good. Next.
श्रीलक्ष्मी भगिनी
अहमेवाक्षयः कालः दाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः
अहमेवाक्षयः कालः धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः अहमेवाक्षयः कालः धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः
Good. Next.
विजयलक्ष्मी भगिनी
Full shloka slowly once.
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः दामाहौ विश्वतो मुखः
Good. Next.
उषा श्रीनिवासन भगिनी
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः sorry sir one second. Oh god, where is it gone? अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः दाताहं विश्वतो मुखः
Dvandva. Dvandva.
द्वन्द्व
Dvandva. Correct.
द्वन्द्व
Yeah, correct.
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च Is it okay, sir?
That is okay. And whenever you find that red letter shown at the top, no, try to see if you can pronounce that. Data how instead of data ham, say data ham. Okay.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Whenever you see the red one, it is very clearly marked. You try that. You know, sometimes we tend to say data ham, but when you see the red one, you try to say data how vishvato mukha. Consciously, you just tell that. Okay.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Next.
राजलक्ष्मी भगिनी
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः दाताहं विश्वतो मुखः
Good. Next.
श्रीमती भगिनी
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः दाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः
Good. One more person.
शारदा राजन भगिनी
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः धाताहं विश्वतो मुखः
Good. One more person.
शीला शिंदे भगिनी
अक्षराणामकारोऽस्मि द्वन्द्वः सामासिकस्य च अहमेवाक्षयः कालः धाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः
Mukha.
मुखः धाताहौ विश्वतो मुखः
Good. Okay. We'll go to the meaning of the shloka. Aksharanam akaraha asmi. Aksharana means out of all syllables that we have. Bhagavan says, I am the syllable a. Okay. Aksharanam akaraha a. That is a is syllable akaraha. Akaraha asmi. Why does he say a? If you look at that way, just you open your mouth and blow the wind, the sound a will come. A. One of the first sound that you get is a. Just open your mouth, blow the wind. A. Then, if you look at all the anybody, whether it's Chinese or Japanese or Indian, anybody, a child just open the mouth and say, blow the wind out, is only a. That is the only first thing without anything. Because without opening, you cannot be making much of sound. You can only hum to some extent. The kind of sound that comes comes out only when you open the mouth and blow the air. Then what happens is that the modifications of the mouth subsequently only produces the other words. E. When you say E, you cannot stand E without showing your teeth. E. You can say, don't show your teeth and say E, you cannot do that. It will become very difficult. E. Then O. O means you have to have the mouth in some specific way. You got to spout the mouth and then only chant O. But at the end of the day, which is coming out, then you do all the modifications to get the other sounds out. So Bhagavan says that every sound, the fundamental basic sound which comes out of human beings is So we say, I am that sound. If you look at that way, to the entire, all the aksharas will be there, all the words will be there. That's the reason we say Omkara. Om is supposed to be representation of everything in the creation. So he says, Aksharanam Akaraha Asmi. I am that. So if you look at that way, it is only in Indian languages, be it Tamil or Hindi or Marathi or any languages, A word is there. Whereas in English, we don't have A. You have A for A, B like that. We say only A. It doesn't say A. But though they use it for appreciate, they use it. Tell it as appreciate is A only. But it is primarily, they don't say Aksharam is A. They say it's A, B, C, D only. But in Indian language, the sound and the syllables have got absolute relationship. It is not that we put some, if you read any of the Indian languages, what is written will be what is pronounced. But in the case of some English languages, you will find that what is written and what is pronounced is totally different. Endeavor, they say, or rendezvous, they say rendezvous, rendezvous. But if you have to pronounce the rendezvous, it's got very funny languages. So if you look at that way, A is the only thing that is there in all Indian languages, and Bhagavan says that A is me. The second thing is that Samasikasya Dvantvaha. Samasikam is supposed to be the group of compound words. Okay, if you look at that way, we have seen a lot of compound words. For example, the first one, Aksharanam Akarosmi, is a compound word. Aksharanam Akaraha Asmi. There are three compounds. There are three words in there. Okay, so similarly, you'll have some of the things we have seen a lot of words which are compound words. So if you look at Sanskrit language, there are a lot of compound words. There are 35 different types of compound words. I think there are 4 high-level definition of how the compound word will be. And those 4 high-level things become 7 subdivisions. And those 7 subdivisions become 35 different compound words. So many compound words are there. So among the compound words, he says, I am Dvantvaha. Okay. So if you say Dvantvaha, for example, it is only 2 words like Rama Lakshmana, Parvati Parameshwara. Only in the case of Dvantva compound, both the words are given equal importance. Only Dvantva compound. Rama Lakshmana means we are looking at Rama and Lakshmana as a single entity, and we give equal importance to Rama and Lakshmana. Okay. Whereas if you look at other kinds of compound words, I went to Shiv Mandir. When you say I went to Shiv Mandir, what does the Shiv Mandir mean? Shiv Mandir is a compound word. But Shiv Mandir, you understand that Shiv Mandir means place where Shiva is worshipped is that Mandir. Where Shiva is worshipped is Shiv Mandir, right? Though the where is the preposition has been not taken into account. So Shiv Mandir means Shiva Mandir. So whether Shiva is given the most importance for the temple. Yeah, good temple, but Shiva is more important. So if you look at that way, Shiva Mandir means where I go to worship Shiva. Which Lord you want to worship? Shiva. The Lord I worship there is Shiva. So the preposition has been replaced and then the compound word is there. So when I say Shiva Mandir, Shiva Mandir, then Ganesha Mandir means where Ganesha is worshipped. When you say when I went to Birla Mandir, what does it mean? It does not mean that you go and worship Birla there. It is constructed by Birla. So there is a lot of things. If you look at a compound word, you have to be very, very choosy in terms of understanding what does the preposition in between comes. Like when you say coffee powder, powder made out of coffee. When you have turmeric powder, powder made out of turmeric. When you say tooth powder, this is not the powder made out of tooth. So you have to decipher. It is used for tooth. So that is the kind of compound words. And some of the compound words will be also confusing. There's a lot of grammar available in the case of Sanskrit. So but in the case of compound words, there will be importance given only for some of the things, not for everything. So Bhagavan says in this, In the case of Dvandvaha Samasaha, the compound word which has got only two words, both the words are given importance, called Dvandva Samasa in Sanskrit, and he says, I am that. So Bhagavan not only talks about what do you call the various kinds of things, but he's also giving importance for literature. So he says, Dvandva Samasaha is me. Ahameva Akshayah Kalaha. Aham. I am only the time. What time? Akshayah Kalaha. Akshayah means I am immutable time. Because everything is born in time and everything goes away in time, but time continues. Time is immutable. So he says that I am the immutable time. Ahameva Akshayah Kalaha Tayam. I am Data Aham. Data Aham. I am the person who gives Paladata. I am the Paladata for everybody. How do we give Paladata? We already studied enough in terms of Karma Paladata, Ishvara Paladata. All those things we studied in the 3rd chapter, etc. And he is also a Vishvato Mukha. He is not like us. We have only 2 eyes. We can see only here. Maybe we have a vision of 170 degrees of total thing. That's it. If somebody calls us from behind, you have to look back and see. Whereas Bhagavan has got not only 360 degrees, but he can also have everywhere he can see. So he has got a visibility for seeing everything always. Vishpato Mukha. So when he is Vishpato Mukha, his Kadaksha is always there with us. So and he says that I am the Vishpato Mukha. I am the person who has got a face facing everything and everybody in the entire world. So I am a Data. I am a Vishpato Mukha. So Aksharanam Akaraha Asmi Dvandvaha Samasikasya cha Ahameva Akshayah Kalaha Data Aham Vishpato Mukha. So I think we are running short of time. We'll close with this shloka and start tomorrow. Pavanav Pavatamasmi Ramashatradhutamaham Jashanamakarashchasmi Stotasamasmi Jhanavi Aksharanamakharosmi. I missed out one sloka. Sarganamadirantashcha Madhyanchaivahamarjuna Adhyatma Vidya Vidyanam Vado Pravadatabaham Aksharanamakarosmi Dvandvasamasi cha Ahamevakshayah Kalaha Dataham Vishvato Mukha. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Guru